Sophie was just 20 years old when she started at Oxford University. She had dreams, hopes, ambitions, with a whole future in front of her, until one dreadful night took a fatal turn. This is Sophie's story.
So tell me about university. How did that start?
So I originally actually wasn't going to go to university. I only decided last minute that I wanted to go to university on my gap year a few months before. It was a very last minute decision. I just felt like I wanted a little bit of a change of plans in my life at that time.
Okay. How long had you been at university before the attack happened?
2 months.
So not long.
Yeah, new city, new lifestyle. 2 months in. I just left home 2 months before.
How did you feel about leaving home?
Mixed feelings. I was kind of excited, but then obviously nervous at the same time.
You and Sophie have come here today to share her story. Let's go back to the beginning. Tell me a little bit about what Sophie was like as a child.
Yeah, so she was a very kind, caring, and very quiet person, but she was, always very clever. She kind of had a really small group of friends and kept herself to herself.
So tell me about university. How old was she when she went?
So she was 20 years old, so she went September 2023 was our first year, and then obviously November, so 2 months in, she got attacked, and that kind of derailed it.
You must have been very proud of her going to university.
Yeah, she's the first person in our family history
Oh wow.
To have gone to university, so it was a real big deal. We'd gone and viewed lots of universities in the south, and she settled on Oxford. That was the one she wanted to go to.
That new chapter didn't start off too great though. She was attacked.
Yeah, I suppose it's every parent's worst nightmare. She's very innocent, very trusting. I wouldn't say she's streetwise. So I've tried to explain to her. Well, I've tried to give her as much information as possible to be able to protect herself. So yeah, it was a shock. It was a shock.
Where was you when the attack happened?
So the attack happened in a churchyard.
Okay.
I'd first met this man, or seen this man, way back in the city centre.
Okay.
He'd followed me for a very long time before the attack actually happened.
Okay. So is this on the same day, or is this?
Same day.
Same day. Okay, so he'd followed you for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened?
So he just kind of grabbed me on the street and just kind of pulled me into the churchyard.
So he pulled you into the church.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then he kind of pushed me against, it was like a concrete block.
Okay.
And then just kind of pulled down my underwear.
So the sexual assault happened. Tell me what happened after that.
So after he pushed me against a door and kind of forced his body against mine, a stranger kind of intervened and I was able to walk away.
Okay.
He followed me at a distance, and I hadn't picked up on the fact that he was following me until I got to the churchyard, and he grabbed me and dragged me in.
Okay. And then what happened after the churchyard?
I ran home.
Okay. Is that back to the university?
Yeah, I was about 3 minutes away. I almost got home.
So the police investigation is now underway. Were any support put in place for you?
They offered a lot of support,
Okay.
but I felt like I wanted to forget about it more than talk about it.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I did not accept any sort of, talking support that they were offering. Maybe in the future,
Yeah.
but not. I didn't consider it.
And
back
did
when I
he
offered it.
get arrested straight away?
He did the next day.
Okay. And what happened after he was arrested? Were he bailed or remanded?
Remanded.
Oh, so he was remanded straight into prison?
Yep.
Okay. And how long was it before you got to trial?
It was 6 months, exactly 6 months from the day he was remanded.
And did you go in and give evidence?
I did.
That must have been difficult. How was that?
It was difficult. It was especially difficult because I had my final exams for uni on the same week.
Wow.
My exams for university were over a 2 week period, and it fell in the same week as the trial. So I was in and out of the exam hall and in and out of the courtroom at the same time.
I didn't know the extent of what happened.
Okay.
I knew it was bad. I knew it was very bad, but I still don't know. When the court case was going on, I booked all the time off. My intention was to go there for every day of the case, but I was pretty much told do not come by the police and the barrister due to the severity of it. And I was told that I just needed to step back as a dad. You want to take control and you want to get in there and fix all the problems. But on this occasion, I had to step back and trust the police.
I was only in the courtroom for about an hour. It was very, very quick.
Okay, how did you find that as an experience?
Again, I think I just sort of mentally shut down. I didn't really feel anything. I basically had no emotion, no feeling. I think that's why I got it over and done with so quickly. I just had no feeling.
Yeah, and he was found guilty. What did you feel when the sentence come in?
I did not know. I actually found out that he had been found guilty on the news.
Okay.
When the news article about it came out and said that he had been found guilty, I found out on the news while I was at work.
So you was at work when you found out?
Yeah, I was at work. I'd just gone on my lunch break and the news story popped up on my phone as I'd grabbed it out of my locker.
Wow. So how long did it take for the sentencing to come in?
It was about a month before he got sentenced.
My daughter closed down, didn't want any help. She was going to deal with this herself. It was very tough on her. She had lots of breakdowns. We had to drive up to where she was many times, 2, 3 in the morning to help her. She struggled with such bad anxiety and panic attacks. Just to leave her bedroom was really tough on her.
Do you think that this sentence was long enough?
Well, in comparison to the trauma that I have to live with for the rest of my life, I don't feel that it was long enough.
How do you think this has affected you as a whole?
It's completely changed my entire life.
So let's talk about the man that raped her. How do you feel about him?
It's tough, it's hard, because when it first happened, I just wanted some time alone with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have said or done, but as time went on, I almost, and this is really, really weird, I almost wanted to thank him for not taking my daughter's life, because he could have quite easily done that. And it was that he's that much of a dangerous man that we're very lucky that he didn't do that.
So tell me about the rapist, where we're living.
So this is what really gets to me, is he was staying in a hotel off of, I think it's Glendale or Glen Road in Oxford, and it's not far from a student village. Now,
so he was living very close by to the university?
Yeah, walking distance.
Right, okay.
So and he'd have to walk through a load of not halls of residence, but where all the students live, maybe the second year students as well.
There is lots of reports throughout the country of the immigrants coming to these hotels, causing damage, nuisance, harassment, sexual harassment, rape. People are branded as far right and racist for having concerns about illegal immigrants doing that. Do you think they are?
No, absolutely not. And the problem that we've got is the people that are coming illegally, but it says it, they're illegal. They've broken the law when they set foot on our shores. They've broken our laws. So at that point, they should then be detained and processed as criminals. But I don't believe they are. I believe they're being sent to hotels, being given money and free rein to just wander freely. They're not normal migrants. They're not normal people. These people, to me, are dangerous. And anybody with any common sense can look at these people coming in on these boats and know that they're up to no good, that they're not coming here to work and be a pillar of society. And it's they should be they should be processed in a detention centre or a camp and not allowed to leave that camp or that detention centre until the Home Office are absolutely sure that they pose no threat to the public. What they can't do is have somebody come in that's an illegal migrant that's just destroyed all their paperwork. You've got no idea who he is, where he's from, what crimes he's committed from his current country, put him in a hotel and then allow him to wander freely amongst everybody. They just can't, I mean, they just can't do it. There's got to be processes, procedures or laws on how these migrants are processed.
So what happens when he comes out of prison? Is he going to be deported?
Now, this is, I will fight tooth and nail for that. But part of the when he was in the final part, when he was at sentencing, he got I was told he got 17 years, and he got, what he actually got was, I think, 12 years. But he's got the right to apply for parole after 8 years.
Okay.
But then, because they done an extra bit, the prosecuting barrister done an extra bit where they were, I'd have to look at what it was, but it was to do with him being a real danger to society.
Okay.
And because of that, he's under strict restrictions for 5 years after being released, where he's not allowed near women, he's not allowed near town centres, he's not allowed near pubs, he's, you know, all these restrictions are put on him. Now I'm sitting there when they're talking about this in court and I'm just being quiet, but I'm thinking, hold on a minute, he's a foreign criminal, he's broken the law. I'm sure our laws say that if you do that, you're deported. So for me, it's simple. He's broken the law, he serves his time, as soon as he's out, you're back to whatever country you're from. And that's it. It shouldn't be any questions asked, because he will still pose a threat to women.
He can apply for parole in just 8 years. If he comes out and he's not deported and he's going to be living here, what do you plan to do?
I don't want to live among him. I don't want to live in the same country as him.
Okay.
I plan on leaving the country within 7 years and being gone from my own country within 7 years, trying to find a new life somewhere else in a different country that isn't my home country.
You just want to be away from him?
Yeah, I don't want to be out in the same.
Do you think he should be deported?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you spoke to an MP at all about this?
Not yet. Now I did, and I did write to a few media outlets to see if anybody would like to help or support, and I didn't get any response. And then I wrote to yourselves and Tommy, and I got an instant response. Instant. And I was just, and Tommy's response was just so nice and sincere and kind. And yeah, that, you know, I credit to him for everything he's done for us. So,
how do you feel as a parent when Sophie leaves the house now?
Awful. It's really tough. So she does have a job. She does go to work part-time, and she does have to walk from where she's living to this job.
Okay.
And she can be walking home later at night now.
Okay.
It's not, and you know, we've got Find My Friends, so I can see where she is and when she's leaving.
Yeah.
And my heart just, I've had to stop looking at it, because if I you know, try and get an early night, because I've got to be up really early with work, and I check Find My Friends and I can see that she's still at work, I'll then stay up and I'll follow her all the way home, and it's heart-wrenching, because then you'll see the dot stop. And straight away your mind goes to the absolute worst.
Yeah, that must be really difficult.
Oh, it was. It's awful, and so I've stopped it. I don't look at it anymore.
Yeah.
But it is awful, and you do worry.
How do you think this has affected Sophie overall?
So yeah, she's changed. Our relationship has changed. I don't think it'll ever be the same.
How has it changed?
As it was. We were quite close. We'd talk quite a lot. I was always there to support her and help her and guide her. But now you know, I can message her and I could go maybe a week or 2 weeks before she'd respond to that message.
Okay.
You know, we'd play games, but we don't play games anymore. I'll call and she won't answer. She's a lot more distant. I don't think this was his first time, and I just think it's that my daughter was the brave one to stand up and say no. So for us, what we're doing is we're trying to raise funds so that then we can get a solicitor and lawyer, and then we want to hold those businesses and government bodies to account. You know, why have you allowed an illegal migrant that you know nothing about to roam free through student villages and you know, in the Oxford town centre with no oversight? Should there have been oversight? Should the hotel, and did the hotel have security? Because I know there's companies that provide, you know, well-known companies that provide security at these hotels. What I need to do first is do my utmost best to raise funds so that I can secure a lawyer or solicitor to start investigating this, because there's three things I've got to look at. One is the Home Office. Who is he? Where did he come from? When did he get here? How was he processed? Where's all the paperwork for was he detained? And why such a dangerous individual was not sent packing or still detained?
In July 2024, Sophie contacted the Home Office. She begins her letter detailing her attack and then goes on to ask questions such as what was known of his background when he was placed in the hotel, and why was a hotel put within walking distance of student villages to house illegal male migrants. Now, even though evidence shows the Home Office have received her letter, they haven't responded. This poses the question of, do they take the rape of women seriously? Please support Sophie in her cause to seek the answers she fully deserves by clicking on the link on the screen now. And as always, Urban Scoop rely on your support to continue our journalism.
Sophie and her family have now got criminal justice, but just how many stories like Sophie's go untold? Their fight to hold the authorities accountable continues.